Hate and the power of hate is seriously underrated in today's society and is overlooked by basically everyone. Hey, what's good everyone? My name's abirbis, and today I'm going to be revealing to you guys the sheer power of hate and what it can do to change your life. I know it's an odd concept, but bear with me here and it'll all make sense by the end of the video. So I want to illustrate this point by telling a story. Up until 9th grade, I was severely underweight. I weighed about 115 pounds, was 6 feet tall, and was stick thin. I'll throw up a photo if you guys can't picture that, just so you know pretty much exactly what I look like. What I would do to get this skinny was in the morning, I would skip breakfast and go straight to school. Then during lunch, when I got really hungry, I would fill up my stomach with water. I would drink tons of water so I didn't have the sensation of hunger, and then I'd play basketball. It was basically fasted cardio. When I got home, I had the smallest dinner, and I would repeat that process every day from 6th through 8th grade, so 3 years of that. Now, as you can imagine, it was highly unhealthy, and I was dealing with some mental issues that I don't need to go into in this video. Maybe for a different video, I'll save this story. Anyways, when I entered high school looking like this, I was severely bullied. The kids were vicious and tore me apart basically every day. It was a horrible experience. What ended up happening was my self-esteem plummeted because I wasn't feeling good about myself anymore, I guess. And because I couldn't stand up for myself because I had a lack of self-esteem, the bullying just got worse and worse to the point where even the teachers were joining in and making fun of me because I didn't have the guts to stand up for myself. Eventually, I grew apart from everyone in my school and couldn't really connect with anyone because I was just completely isolated from them. I couldn't go to my parents for help in this problem because, you know, they're the full Asian immigrant parents where it's like education comes first, everything else is basically irrelevant. So I had no help from my family. I was feeling alone and just resented everyone. At this point, I had 3 options. 1, I could transfer schools, which really wasn't an option because my parents wouldn't allow it. 2 was to turn my life around and fix the situation I was in somehow. And 3 was to commit suicide. I ended up choosing to somehow end my bullying and turn my life around, thankfully, over killing myself. And the way I did this was I wrote an ultimatum. I decided that if I wasn't able to put on muscle due to some genetic cap where I just genetically couldn't put on muscle, then I was just gonna end it. To prevent that, over the next 2 years, I did everything in my power to achieve my goal. I hit the gym, ate 5 meals every day, and stopped running long distance track. I was on a mission to change my life. And here's a quick side note. Most people go on a fitness journey as a New Year's resolution. I read an article that said that statistically 95% of all people who embarked on a fitness journey as their New Year's resolution gave up by January 31st. That's virtually everybody who made a fitness New Year's resolution gives up within 30 days. I could never understand why these people gave up so easily until later it hit me. They weren't constantly harassed and bullied by everyone around them, with no one close to talk to and no one to be able to vent with. Anyways, back to the story. After 2 years, I was able to successfully put on 50 pounds of muscle, end my bullying situation, and turn my life around for the better, including rebuilding my self-esteem. And the moral of the story isn't something super cheesy and cliche like, work hard and achieve your goals. No, the moral I took from that part of my life was that hate is powerful. Hate can drive you to do some awful things, like kill yourself. People tend to leave out, however, that hate can be used to pull off incredible feats. To put it in perspective, think about it this way. Hate is energy. I mean, it's negatively connotated, but it's energy all the same. Now, because it's energy, it can be channeled into whatever you desire. Now, if you let your emotions control you, your hate will be used for something bad. Like, for example, keying your ex's car. But if you're disciplined, you can channel your hate into working for you instead of against you and do something productive. The reason I couldn't give up on building muscle and learning as much as possible in the bodybuilding community was that I was perpetually motivated to achieve my goal through hate. I actually couldn't stop because I had so much hate balled inside me, I guess. And by the way, this is by no means a healthy way of dealing with your emotions. Nonetheless, it's a useful tactic to implement into your life if you want to change it. What I was saying before was the hate I had for everyone around me fueled me to achieve my goals. It was so strong and intense that I just couldn't give up. Every minute I could, I would use working towards my goal, whether it was eating, working out, or spending as much time as I could learning on how to build the most muscle in the most efficient way possible. Every minute that I couldn't spend on working towards my goals, there was a loud voice in my head yelling at me to drop whatever I was doing and do what I believed was to be productive. That's how powerful hate was. And it's not just me. Throughout history, people have used their hate in their lives to achieve the impossible. Example number 1. The Americans hated the British so much that they went into a revolutionary war with them and defeated the British Empire. the greatest empire the world had ever seen up until that point. Example 2. Oprah Winfrey, born into poverty and was sexually assaulted by one of her relatives. She was told that she would never go anywhere in life because she was a black woman. By 2003, she'd become the first African-American female billionaire. Lastly, Sylvester Stallone, or Rocky, as some of you may know him. At one point, he was a struggling scriptwriter and actor. He struggled so much with money, in fact, that his wife left him and he had to sell his dog because he couldn't afford food. Then one day, his script Rocky got picked up by some producers, and now he's worth over $400 million. Those are just a few examples. I'm sure you could think of many more in your own personal life. And yeah, that's what I think. By the way, that's just my opinion. My word isn't gospel. It's not fact. It's just what I believe to be true. If you have a different opinion, leave it below in the comments. I'd love to read it. Oh, and by the way, just to let you guys know, I run an account on Instagram called xsprints that revolves around track and field. Go check it out. And yeah, peace.